The Gators grabbed 2 commitments over the weekend. The first is 4-star quarterback Trammell Jones from in high school in Jacksonville, Florida, had previously been committed to Florida State, decommitted and then committed to Florida. I think he decommitted on Saturday and then committed on Sunday to the University of Florida. Will be the Gator signal caller for this class. Know some mixed thoughts on Trammell Jones as a quarterback, but Cora, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Trammell?
First of all, if he's 6'1", then I'm 5'13".
247 had him 6 foot, so 6 foot 196.
I'm still 5'13". If he's because he walked by like I was in that row, he walked by and like he's not 6 foot, but overall, I think he's a good fit for the system and style. You know, RPO. I'm not caught up in all the size. Like, of course, everybody want the prototypical 6'4", 6'3" quarterback, but you know, guys, if they could play, he's a gamer. I think he can make the throws necessary. I don't know if he actually gets to start. I think the guy in our 26 class is super talented. He may get passed on, but you got to get 4-star after 4-star after 4-star, build the room, a lot of depth. I like to get you flip him from Florida State. You don't have to play against him. Coming from Jacksonville, he plays with French. The first F is silent. I'm going to say that every time. But it's just a guy that other players want to play for in the state. You know, I think it's a good get. Can't complain. I'm ready to lie.
On three's director of scouting, Charles Power. This is just the first quote. We try to stay away from on three. But anyway, at the Elite 11 finals, said he showed a silky smooth throwing motion and release. The 6 foot, 195 pounder has a clean stroke with no moving parts. Jones' tight throwing motion. This is nuts, Charles. Jones' tight throwing motion allows for him to throw with a typo here with a consistent delivery of catchable balls and throw with accuracy. He's a pure pocket passer who's at his best when he can sit back and distribute the ball to surrounding playmakers. He has missed most of this season due to an injury.
I don't like that.
And listen, you need a quarterback in this class. You probably also need to go and get maybe a portal quarterback. You can get
back Warner. Big arm Aiden isn't good enough, huh?
Oh, man. Yo, that's hilarious, man.
Nuts. Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You'd like to have four scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. So good get. It's also going to be caught off guard. Well, no, it's also going to be. It's like we said. It's like we said back when Cam Carroll picked Florida. It's going to be hard to get a transfer portal quarterback to come to sit behind DJ Lagway.
Do you think, Nick, like they got Clay Millen, they got Aiden Warner last year, big arm Aiden, and you add Trammell Jones, and then you have DJ Lagway. Do you need another, or do you think that one of those guys may not be on the roster next year?
One of those guys might leave. If you're getting a freshman, hey, that's going to be the future. Does Clay Millen stay? Clay Millen came to be the third string, and then within a month lost his third string job to a kid who was coming off of ACL surgery. Does he find somewhere else to go?
You got it. At that point, you just take the degree. You know what I mean? Like, that's a solid degree.
You beat me to it. Man. You just got to read the room a little bit, man. Like a good job is probably your future and not the NFL. So, you left Ivy League to come to the Ivy League of the South, right? Like, just get that Ivy League of the South degree and vibe out a little bit.
Yeah.
I agree. The quarterback room is a little light, so we definitely need to get some guys as far as recruiting and through the portal, whatever it may be. And, yeah, man, I think that's pretty much it. Like, 'cause we don't want to have the same situation we had where we got third, fourth string quarterback starting versus Texas. We actually want to feel like we can actually go compete if need be. Right. If we need the third string quarterback to come out. So I'm good on. Hopefully, we can keep the room up. Hopefully, these guys are pitching them that in the recruiting room as far as like get your education as well. And it's a great university because it really is. I mean, you go everywhere, you're gonna see somebody that's either a Florida fan or a Florida alumni. So hopefully, these kids make the right decision, man.
Yeah, because Trammell is not going to be ready to play next year. Right,
No.
he's a true freshman. Like if
Doesn't need to be.
Lagways is something that happened to Lagway, we haven't had a quarterback stay healthy the entire season in a very long time. So 9 times out of 10, we got to depend on the backup at some point. And you want that backup the drop off not to be as huge as it was this year when you get into who's ever behind DJ Lagway. So they definitely got a portal for sure.
I'm pulling it up right now. Let me see. Kyle Trask was in 2020.
Yeah.
He played all 12 games, so 21 was Emory Jones, AR, 22 AR, played all 12, but wasn't himself with his ankle. And then 23 was Mertz. Mertz played most of the year. Max Brown got hurt, but it's a spot, and that's kind of what I was talking about. Like you might have to go into the portal to get somebody else.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, Dan, with Aiden Warner, and DJ rolls his ankle, that's who would be the backup right now in 2025.
Yeah.
So but I think it's also hard to get a quality quarterback from the portal because the quarterback's going to the portal to play, not to come and sit behind 20-year-old superstar DJ Lagway.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I can play quarterback and get a degree from a lot of places and actually
play. No, I agree. I think history is going to show that the backup quarterback is going to probably play, especially if you have a more mobile quarterback in DJ Lagway. I'm not ever hoping that there's an injury, and hopefully we can get through a season without a quarterback injury. But, there's still an opportunity at the University of Florida. And, if that guy that comes in as a freshman, there's still some time to play, right? To be next in line behind DJ Lagway, because you need competition in that room. You need to get better, and you need to upskill your talent everywhere, whether it's at quarterback, whether it's a wide receiver, running back, offensive line. You need somebody that's going to push that guy. But I also understand that the transfer portal makes that a lot more challenging. Gators also grab a commitment from defensive lineman, 6'4.5", 365 pounds. I think it's Stephon Shiver from Brentwood Academy in Brentwood, Tennessee, which is right outside of Nashville. Had previously been committed to Georgia, but he is the second defensive line commitment in this class, ranked as a 3-star. I think Rivals or ESPN has him as a 4-star, but somewhere hovering around the 500th best player in the country. Any thoughts on Stephon Shivers or Shiver?
They put him in at running back.
Yeah,
I was watching this big boy skate past some people.
That's crazy.
Let me tell you something, dog. My junior year in high school, we played against Santa Lucia's, and they had Vincent Wilfork, who ended up going to Miami as a defensive tackle. They had him playing running back and returning kicks.
What?
And as a defensive back, yes, they was blowing us out. Like we was a fairly new school. We didn't have any seniors on our team. In our inaugural year, I was good. Don't play me like that. But when Vincent Wilfork broke in the open field, I pretended to be blocked. I was trying to be blocked. I was like, Brian, trying to tackle this man. It's been like 350.
That's a big boy.
And nimble, like he's running that thing like Barry Sanders a little bit. That clip was absolutely amazing from Shivers, bro. Yeah. Like him breaking in the open field like that for a defensive tackle that size, you got an absolute athlete at defensive tackle, man.
I'm imagining Silk
on this team.
I'm imagining Silk running into blocks.
To
get away from Vince.
Now you throw your arms up to show the ref you're getting held. I was doing all that, like ref, I'm getting held. Like,
get him away from me.
That dude. Yeah. Blow the whistle.
Well, that's cool.
Gators also look to try to close out the class pretty strong. Just a couple more weeks before National Signing Day here. Certainly the Gators could use some help. Let me see where they're at in recruiting rankings for 2025 here real quick. I should have had that pulled up, but I did not. So right now they are ranked 27th in the country on three. That is good for 13th in the SEC. Still a lot of guys out there. That group is still led by Vernell Brown, Ben Hanks, Jalen Wiggins, Trammell Jones becomes the fourth highest ranked player there. Nashawn Montgomery, Waltez Clark, Tayshawn Gelsey, Stephon Shivers, Jeremiah McLeod, Micah Jones, Miles Johnson, Chad Gasper, and then kicker Evan Noel and punter Hayden Craig. So a couple of the names that we're looking out for is Jamie French, the 5-star, who's going to announce his decision this week. He's currently committed to Texas. And then Dallas Wilson.
He got a decision this week?
Yeah. I believe Friday.
Jordan, what do you think about that?
I got
committed to a school while having a commitment announcement.
That's crazy. That's this new day and age, though, man. I mean, shit. Back in my time, when you're committed,
it happened in your time too. Yeah, you guys, your era had the same
but at
shenanigans.
least you're gonna decommit and then have a whole thing where you feel me. People are staying committed and basically having the whole get together about you still committed to a school. Yeah, like decommit first and show that you're back available and stuff like that. I don't get it.
That's like being the Bachelor, and on episode 1, you bring your wife in to meet all the other girls coming out of the limo.
Right, straight up.
What are we doing here? You should have left your wife at home.
Married here, but I got options.
Do you know what show you're
Love
on?
and Blind, man.
For real.
Shivers though, like as a 3-star, I know like people we're all stargazers a little bit. Shivers was formerly committed to Georgia. Mm-hmm. Just a great prospect. Don't get caught up in the stars. This kid's an absolute beast at defensive line. Great eval. They've been doing a good job of evaluating the defensive line. So just don't get caught up in the stars. I think he's going to match well with the guy they got last year with Michael Burrow. How you say his last name? Just big physical guys. Boyro. I think he's a good match. He's pretty much the placement for Big Meat. Desmond Watson, man. No, his first NIL was with Spence, and they had shorts.
Yeah.
He sent me one that said Big Meat. You know, I had to stop wearing that in public.
Bro,
but great eval.
Clean NIL right there. That's what that is.
Yeah. One time for Spence, man, the Big Meat campaign.
That's funny.
Let's see, from a recruiting perspective, 3-star interior offensive lineman Daniel Pierre-Louis. There is also some talk about him that he might flip. I know he's related to somebody that used to play for the Gators. I just don't remember. He's a 3-star that's currently committed to Florida State.
Wandy Pierre?
No, that it sounds like it should be, but it's not. It's somebody more recent than that. Maybe the chat can help us out there, but I like where your head's at. Man, Wandy Pierre-Louis. And then trending for this is going to be tough. 3-star wide receiver Moose Tunkara, who's from League City, Texas. He's currently committed to Arizona. There's 3-star offensive tackle Jahari Medlock, who's currently committed to Cincinnati. There's 4-star offensive tackle Tavares Dice, who is committed to Auburn. And then 4-star defensive lineman Joseph Mbachu, who was previously committed to Florida. It does look like Florida and I believe Auburn are the potential landing spots for him. So definitely some names to look out for in the class of 2025.
It's a fun name to say, Mbachu. It's a fun name. I don't think they're done. I think there will be.
I hope because they've got 13
this week. I think there will be another commit come public before the game Saturday. Maybe. Don't hold me to it.
With Pierre-Louis, probably, and the lineman you just talked about. I think he pops.
Not my news to break. I'm gonna.
Okay.
All this is alleged. None of this. They don't think you're credible anyway, Nick. Just give us what you're thinking.
Never have been.
Nah, I think this class could end up strong. Despite what we've been at, right? I think this class could end up strong. Been hearing some good things on the recruiting trail. I don't know if we keep Nashawn Montgomery. I would like to keep him in the fold, but he has some great options. He's visiting and looking around a little bit. But Wilson, the commit, I'm forgetting his first name right now, but Wilson has committed to Oregon. He's going to be a great option. Dallas Wilson. He's coming back next week for the Ole Miss. If you can get him and French in this class to go, I think their wide receiver room, you get in the portal as well. Both of those guys can play early, in my opinion. You get in the portal, you get you a couple dogs like Cam Coben. I'm still available for tampering coordinator. If I want me to do that, I can make that happen. But yeah, you can get DJ Lagway some weapons here, and we could close out pretty strong. Now Solomon is the lineman that I want from Florida State, 5-star. Solomon Thomas. Like, close on that kid, flip that kid. Been hearing some good things about him. Atkins got fired at Florida State. His offensive lineman coach is out of there. It's an opportunity. You had him in the building. He walked through by that section H as well. Huge kid. Get that kid. We've been struggling with landing 5-star offensive linemen. We've been hitting on some other spot. Billy's been good with getting some 5-stars, but offensive line is one of those spots we haven't been hitting on. Close on Solomon.
It's either Martez Ivy or David Sharp was the last 5-star offensive lineman that signed at the high school.
Had to be Ivy there.
Yeah, probably Tez, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Martez. And
Martez, I remember I drove up to Jacksonville, and they were running like a wing tee, and it looked like Corey. Corey was the defensive end. He was blocking. I'm like, this isn't fair. They're running the ball 65 times a game, and the guy he's blocking is 160 pounds in pads.
I weigh 175.
So my apologies. Yeah, you got your weight up.
Like 15 pounds, bro. Yeah, I was 160, but yeah, I've been eating a little bit, man.
Yeah, you've been hitting the gym. No diddy.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be interesting to see because, like, I read. Can't remember what site it was, but I read somebody asked Jamie French, like, why is Florida still in it? And he said DJ Lagway. Mm-hmm. You're going to get guys who want just to play. You want to play with winners. You want to be surrounded by like-minded people and like-minded talent to go and win games. And I think people are seeing that vision with DJ Lagway, not just receivers who will be, on the other end of his right arm, but offensive linemen. Hey, let me go block for him. Guys on defense. I remember Brandon Spikes said, listen, I'm going wherever Tebow goes. And that's on the whole other side of the ball.
That's right.
You just have to bottle that momentum that you got Saturday and keep it going this week. Because I think even if you lose a tight game and look really good against a good Ole Miss team, you can still keep that momentum, smack FSU, win a bowl game, and roll into, I guess, early signings would be before the bowl game, maybe first week of December, right?
Right, December 4th.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it could be a sprint to the finish.
Yeah. I saw this meme. I got shared this meme while we were chatting, and I thought it was pretty good. About the Arizona State, because everybody was looking at Arizona State's roster to see who's the next player that we can get for Arizona State that's a wide receiver. And I guess
shout out to Alex. That's funny.
Yeah, Alex. Shout out to Alex Reagan. If you're not following him, if you are listening on a podcast medium, which most of you are, it's Billy Napier's head on the fake Adam Silver quote that says, "Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy," and it says, "Get ready to learn Tom Petty, buddy." So save that. We'll be using that. Jordan Tyson is the number one wide receiver for Arizona State, and it's coincidentally followed by the entire Gators coaching staff right now.
Billy coached there, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Very briefly.
Before, but he was here for a year before Louisiana.
I don't have to cover him for tampering. I do that. I got it.
No. Yeah. No, I hope that they are. I have no allegations here, but I sure wish I did. Before we head out, any final thoughts on recruiting?
Get out. We got to talk Ole Miss, man.
Sorry. I meant before we head out of this discussion.
We'll talk Ole Miss. I'm going to have Corey or whoever wants to pop up with me. We're going to have a writer on to break it down even more Thursday. A little pop-up show, Nick's Corner. Close the book on LSU. Huge win. Defensive line. Shout out to Gerald Chapman. Offensive line. That 55-yard run, I remember seeing the clip, and my head immediately went to the Rugrats Passover episode where Tommy Pickles is Moses part of the sea, because I'm watching it, and Hayden Hansen throwing a block 5 yards upfield, Austin Barber pulling around, leading the way, Jake Slaughter pulling, leading the way, and I'm just like, dude, these guys, Jaden Ball didn't have to do much. All he had to do was run fast, didn't have to break a tackle, didn't have to worry about anyone getting near him. So shout out to the offensive line. I think I have the stats still pulled up. Florida's offensive line, Florida average 6.6 per rush.
Yeah.
Only 17 rushes, but I mean, you only had, 43 plays?
43 plays.
So shout out to Florida's offensive line. We've been down on them. I'm not even really down on them. I think we were just down on how they were being rotated. And once they figured out the 5 to 7 guys that they use, Bryce Lovett's looking like a guy who's going to be, figure that out in the spring, figure that out in the fall camp, not figuring it out week 4.
Well, no, and I think we've done a good job on this show of saying that there's been areas of improvement, right? At the offensive line, there's been a lot of players on the offensive line that have really outshined the star that they had, right? I remember not long ago, Nick was very down on Brendan Crenshaw-Dixon, and he's still performing as one of the top tackles, not only in the SEC, but in college football, and especially with the talent that he has to go up against. But I think the offensive line has showed some market improvement. I think the defensive line really showed some incredible gumption and spirit against LSU, and hopefully that they can carry that over, right? And DJ Lagway is another week of getting healthy, and who knows, right? And that's the thing about playing in the SEC. You've got great talent. Who knows what Florida looks like against Ole Miss, and hopefully they can continue to carry this over. A win against Ole Miss would be huge for the direction and just the overall just discussion around the Florida football program right now. And then you go and you whoop up on FSU, and then, maybe play, somebody that you can whoop up a little bit on the bowl game. And now all of a sudden the momentum going into next season is very, very different than where it has been. But you have to win, right? You have to win.
If Florida wins this week, they're going to beat FSU. You win your bowl game. You hit a couple guys in the, I keep saying it, last 3 weeks, portal pending. They're bringing back a superstar who has the potential to put a statue next to Tim Tebow outside the stadium. We're going to start talking all offseason. We spent saying, damn, Florida's schedule is really hard. If Florida can build off of that LSU game, get some recruiting battle wins, the narrative this summer is going to be those teams have to come and play Florida. They have to come and play DJ Lagway, Billy Napier, Jaden Ball. Yeah. It's going to be a completely different offseason, and one that will be much more enjoyable to talk about instead of being like, oh,
well, I'm ready to lie.
The schedule.
I'm
big lies.
I am ready to lie. Just keep it like, I know you're moving on. Like, this is like, the fans are always beefing. There's always two sides to all of this, but I don't think like any of this vindicates the staff. I think they still got a lot to prove. They got a lot of things to like finish up. They got to finish up. I think we can get both of these wins, and I think this staff needs to get every win they can to be successful and be the long-term solution. But there's nothing I seen Saturday that just absolves them for the rest of this season. It was a good win. I appreciate the win. We're going to enjoy it. But there's still a lot to clean up, penalty-wise, just scheme-wise, just overall team-wise. This team, there's a lot still to improve on, and nobody's vindicated. This is not a successful season when it pertains to Gators standard. We just see progress, and we just see there's some life. There's some staff changes that may have to get made, and delegating, and just some readjusting things. But there's some life here. It's not completely over. Billy has a shot here. So
yeah. No, absolutely. 100%. Let's get into the Ole Miss game here. Before we do that,